it is tough. It is tough building your career. And then when you come into kind of invisible glass ceilings, whether you're a woman, whether you're from a different minority background, whether you've come from a really tough upbringing, you're the first one to go to university and you haven't maybe got that support network immediately around you, which is a reality a lot of young people face at the moment. There's people like myself who would just say, I'm here, talk to people. There's so many people that can offer you real life examples, give you help, put you in contact with the right people as well. That's a really, really promising movement that we've seen, that we're actually openly talking about. Do you know what? The path is not the same for everyone. For some, it's easier. And it is. For some people, it's an easier path. Okay, so for those that have got a tougher path, how do we help? How do we make that easier? So my name's Domi. I am the head of HR and I work for Dyson. So I think most of you might have heard of Dyson, but actually Dyson's a British brand. So we're still founder owned by James Dyson, who's still quite heavily involved. We're quite a big firm now. So we started off literally in James's shed from nothing. We are now about 14,000 employees worldwide. The heart of our operation is in Malmesbury, and my role is I look after the people. So I look after the UK. So Dyson, originally, I think everyone will know us for our vacuum cleaners, but we're quite a bit more than that now. We started off there, that was our homeland, so to speak. But now we sell personal care, so we sell kind of our hair dryers and our styling tools. We also do a lot in environmental care, so fans, purifiers. And I'm recently, I don't know if you've seen, but we've now launched into kind of audio and wearables. So repositioned into quite a technology business. So originally I came from Wales, so grew up in the valleys. My mum was a PE teacher. My dad was actually a car salesman. And we moved when we were quite young. We moved out to live in Spain when I was about 10 years old. So I did kind of all of my schooling over there. I was a bit chucked in at the deep end. Learning the language was the first bit. But you know what? When I was 17, 18, the honest answer, Charlie, is I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. I generally did not have a clue. I wasn't naturally very academic. My grades were always good, but I had to work really, really hard for them. Unlike my sister, who just seemed to read a book, pick it up, memorize it, and off she went. I just had to work quite hard. I did go to university. The honest answer is I didn't really know what else to do at the time. I didn't have anything that I was super keen on. I loved my sports, but I wasn't good enough to do something in that lines. So I went to uni and I did a business course. And I loved it, to be honest. It was a bit different though. I wouldn't say it opened my eyes, but in anything, it kind of almost shut a few doors for me. Because I did the course and I thought, actually, there's really, really key bits here that I don't want to do. And I think sometimes we think about, okay, we need to kind of open all these doors and what's it look like? Sometimes actually it's easier also the other way. If you find things that you don't want to do, okay, that's great, because you're still getting closer to, I will find something somewhere that I have a real passion for. I think my biggest piece of advice was, and if I'm completely honest, it comes from my mum. So my mum's piece of advice was mindset. There's this favourite saying that she has, which is quantum in me fluid, which just means I did the very best I did. And she always said to me, she's like, you will find your niche, you will find your journey, you'll find your path. But you've got to go into this with the right mindset. She's like, be positive, really kind of look at it. And if it's a problem, how can you solve it? Is your glass half empty or half full? And she said, that will literally change your life. And I remember being like 17 or 18 and going, yeah, Mum. That's still not helping me with my career here or my choices. But I think she's right. I've been working now since I came out of uni when I was 21. So I'm not going to tell you how many years I've been working, but it's quite a few. And I think that mindset has just always helped me. It's helped me in my professional life just to be really positive and go, okay, do you know what? You're going to have some really great days. You're going to have some really, really tough times as well. And that's okay. I think that's the beauty nowadays in that recognition that it's okay to be honest and say, do you know what? It's not all great. Sometimes it's really hard. And that's fine. Allow yourself that. But how do you then pick up and go, right, okay, I've had my 24 hours or I've given my time to kind of come to terms. How am I going to make this better? Because there's always loads of support out there, loads of people to talk to, but you're the one who wakes up in the morning and you decide what that day's going to be. I think especially over the last 3 or 4 years, I've seen a really, really positive movement socially, kind of in the social environment that we're in, but also very much in the workplace, in the support that's there for women and professionals. And I think it's really moving away from this traditional mindset of, so if I talk about young women coming up who have families, for example, or really want to aspire to get to the leadership positions, but they see a bit of a glass ceiling. I think there's so much more support and recognition within businesses now, and almost proactive plans and programs and networks in place to help women reach their potential. There is so much support out there. There's so many opportunities to kind of speak to people, to get advice. It is tough. It is tough building your career. And then when you come into kind of invisible glass ceilings, whether you're a woman, whether you're from a different minority background, whether you've come from a really tough upbringing, you're the first one to go to university and you haven't maybe got that support network immediately around you, which is a reality a lot of young people face at the moment. There's people like myself who would just say, I'm here. If I can talk to people, there's so many people that can offer you real life examples, give you help, put you in contact with the right people as well. That's a really, really promising movement that we've seen, that we're actually openly talking about. Do you know what? The path is not the same for everyone. For some, it's easier. And it is. For some people, it's an easier path. Okay, so for those that have got a tougher path, how do we help? How do we make that easier? What can we do to kind of support whatever your niche is, whatever your career is, whatever you want to be? How do we do that to help? And I think that I find it personally quite a big responsibility, and one that I, really want to look at how can we help now?